Strategic planning can be a lot of work. Is it really worth the effort? Hi, this is Debbie Narver, and I want to talk about 3 ways that strategic planning can improve business performance. So, is strategic planning worth the effort? Well, there's a lot of proponents that point to examples of where effective strategy led to superior performance, and this is supported by empirical evidence. But critics argue that it may be too rigid and no longer applicable. So, which is true? This study by Miller and Cardinal, where they looked at 26 previously published studies over more than 2 decades of research, demonstrated that strategic planning has a positive impact on business performance. But why doesn't it always work? I believe the reasons that strategic planning fails or is less effective is largely due to either an ineffective planning process and or failure to execute or implement. And I talked about this a lot in previous blogs and go into a lot of detail in my strategic planning course because we've all seen examples of where it hasn't been effective. So the second question I often hear is strategic planning relevant for all types and sizes of business? I think many people believe it's only for big business. But the truth is business of all sizes, from single owner operator to multinational enterprises, need a strategy. You need to understand how you're going to compete. But there can be some differences depending on the nature of your industry. And consider there's different measures of performance. We often think strategic planning is just around financial. And while the financial bottom line is usually critical in private enterprise, there could also be other important aspects of success. For example, it might be very important to be considered an employer of choice and respected in the community. So you can consider these as part of your strategic planning process. And obviously, not for profit, public service, academic, and other unique types of organizations will each have their own definition of success and performance. So your strategy can and really should be designed around the vision and goals of your organization. So now let's look at 3 ways that strategic planning leads to superior business performance. First of all, it creates focus. Do you ever feel like you're going in many directions but not making much progress? It's a common situation. When we try to be all things to everyone, we almost never succeed. We end up using our limited resources without seeing significant return, and often end up getting frustrated and burnt out. By having the clear direction of a strategy, we know the exact actions and sequencing that we need to follow to achieve our goals. We can focus our limited resources on these actions. And often, the more we focus on specific actions, the better we become at it. That is, we get more efficient. Thus, there's an additive performance improvement over time. Second is that strategic planning reduces risks. When you do a strategic plan following the effective process, there is extensive research and analysis. And this knowledge prepares you to either mitigate risks or put processes in place to minimize the impact. One of the biggest risks that's often overlooked is allowing your core competencies to erode. Often businesses don't have a clear understanding of their true strengths, and so they focus on the wrong things. For example, often the first things to go in budget reduction are training, research, and development. So if these were actually your core competencies, and often your core competencies lie in unique knowledge, you end up trading short-term gain, but eventually lose your competitive edge. And the third way that strategic planning improves performance is that it guides decision-making and operations. When the strategy is effectively communicated, everyone knows the end goal. So when you're faced with numerous demands, it's essential that you know what you can say no to. By communicating this down through all levels of the organization, employees can be empowered to find new and better ways of achieving your goals. They may find efficiencies or innovative new approaches. And it can help them in communicating with customers and other stakeholders when they understand the focus and the value of your strategy. By knowing their direction, it can help reduce the inefficiencies of reacting to different interest groups. But it doesn't end here. Strategic plans need to be implemented. And this is where we get into strategic management. So strategic planning is an important exercise, but you need strategic management to actually implement on an ongoing basis. So here's my 3 tips for developing strategic management skills for implementing your strategic plan. First of all, you need to develop strategic leadership skills within your organization. So it needs to be more than just one person. We need to spread this out throughout the organization and make sure that you have a number of individuals that can apply performance planning and management and lead positive change. So let's go through a summary on strategic planning for improved business performance. First of all types and sizes of organizations need a strategic plan, but obviously the scope and the approach can be different depending on the nature of the industry and the type of organization. Be sure to use effective strategic planning techniques that involve thorough research and analysis. Don't take shortcuts or skip steps. Base your strategy on your unique vision, values, and competencies. Don't copy your competitor. And develop strategic management and leadership skills within your organization to ensure plans are implemented. So learn more about strategic planning and management. Visit our website, follow our blogs, and sign up for our free newsletter at www.nmcstrategicmanager.com. Or you can contact me directly to learn more about my courses, debbie@narvermanagement.ca. Thank you and all the best with your strategic planning.